right. So, Rob, who are you trashing today?
You know, I'm still Chris. I don't want to keep saying it over and over, but I think people really, really, really missed the boat on the Joker. I cannot get over how many and people just, and we'll get into it later, I think, Chris. Aren't we talking about the analytics part of basketball or whatever? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into, So,
but you basically want to trash the voters?
Yeah, I thought they got,
voters?
the MVP voters. They got it wrong.
So you think he should have won?
I think he should have won, and a lot of people
But you weren't saying that before the...
No, I said... but I'm not saying like he should have won by a landslide, but I'm just thinking that more and more I feel like there was an anti-vote against him, not just Embiid was way better and that's why it was a landslide. It was an anti-vote. That's just my gut. I don't know what the voters are saying, Chris. I haven't talked to 100 voters to say why, but that's just my gut feeling is that there was an anti-vote for him. That's all.
Well, remember, I mean, I think you're basing that on two guys. Kendrick Perkins, who kind of made it about race, and Kendrick's a friend of both of ours, but he just came out and said, look, Joker only averaged 24 points a game. And look, for those, and I voted for Embiid. I thought Embiid, Giannis, who was my second place, and Jokic, who was third, I thought they all were very close. And you could argue for either guy based on varying things. I mean, Giannis was without his second best player for most of the season, and they had the best record in the league. And obviously his numbers were splendid. Embiid led the league in scoring. Led Philadelphia to a great record, a better record than Denver had, was great defensively. And then Jokic, of course, analytically was off the charts. But again, 24 points a game. So it's not like, he was destroying people, offensively, just scoring.
Yeah, but it's not just offense, though.
No, I know.
I mean?
Well, he certainly wasn't doing it defensively.
No, but he also had the assists that were high.
Right, but he's an inferior. Well, you brought up scoring offense. So I said he's an inferior defensive player to Embiid and Giannis. My point is this. The two people came out, I guess. Perkins came out and kind of made it about race. Mark Jackson left him off his ballot. Mark says accidentally. I'll take him for his word. But that was there one more? You brought up another person, I think, or is it just those?
No, those were just the two.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. That's only two people.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it's 100 voters, and I didn't have anything personally against Jokic. I voted for him before to be an MVP. And so I'm just saying you can't just be careful basing that off of
I didn't say
one or two people.
I'm just saying I said that's just a gut feeling. I don't have any hard evidence. I haven't talked to voters. That's just a gut feeling I have that there was an anti-vote. Not so much that they were in love with Embiid, but that Embiid had never won it, and Jokic had won it twice. He hadn't done that much postseason-wise. And people were taking, I know it's not supposed to count, Chris, but it's like we're giving a guy who hasn't never won a championship, never been to an NBA final, forget about winning, 3 MVPs in a row. You know what I mean? Like he hadn't even been to one. So I think that there was some of that there. That's just a gut feeling.
But that's a voter's right. There's no criteria.
I don't have a vote.
Right.
I don't have a vote.
Right.
And
it's not like the NBA gives you a criteria and says this is what you vote according to.
I get it. I get it because I've had that.
Like for me, I do. I mean, one of my criteria is historical precedent, and and that could mean various things. But the fact that I did part of my thinking, not the main thing. I've shared my main reasons for voting for Embiid, who was better in the clutch, who was better defensively, who scored more, who got to the foul line more, who hit his free throws, not more, because Jokic is a good free throw shooter too, but just as well. All of that. There were a lot of reasons to vote for Embiid. But also the factor of, look, if you're going to get a third straight and join Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird, you need to be head and shoulders above the other two. And I thought it was close. All three of them were very close. But you said you believe, Rob, it was a victory, and let's stay here. For the analytics crowd, you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I just think that there are people who are like, oh, I don't care what the analytics say. I'm just going to go. And I'm not a huge analytics guy, so I don't want to sit here and act like I am. But the numbers, they bore out, Chris, like what you were looking analytically did wind up lining up with Jokic, that he had that kind of impact, and he is a winner. And it ain't just about stuffing your box scores and getting meaningless assist, or you know what I mean, or handing the ball off to Jamal Murray and getting an assist for it, and all the other stuff that I heard people talk about. All I'm saying is now it's different, Chris, if you had the best analytic player was Russell Westbrook, and I'm not picking on him. I'm just using his name, okay?
Right.
Say statistically, he was the best in analytics. But you would say, but he didn't have an impact on winning. His teams didn't win. Then you could kind of dismiss it. But now when you're looking at it and say Jokic, and Rob G, stop me if I'm wrong, he had the best analytic numbers when you put them all together, Chris, this past season. And then he goes on to do things that nobody had ever done in the NBA, points, assists, and all these other things in a playoff run, and then win a championship. I think that it makes the analytical people who are pushing the analytics go, see, this is what we were telling you. This guy, these analytics, these numbers, they matter, and they do translate to winning. And they do. And I just feel like if you're in the front office of an analytics, Chris, in that department, you champion what he just did, because this is what they've been talking about.
But has anybody ever said that analytics aren't accurate? I mean, who's running around saying that?
Some people are like, I'm about the eye test. I don't care. I'm not.
Well, it's
some people are like about the eye test only, and they don't care about what.
Who's only about? I've never heard anybody say analytics aren't legitimate.
I didn't say that they aren't legitimate at all, but they don't mean that they follow them or they use them as a Bible. I'm just saying.
Well, you shouldn't use them as a Bible. I don't care what Jokic just did. You shouldn't use them as a Bible.
Some front office people.
Because I can point to a year where the analytics said this or that, and it didn't pan out.
Chris, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I know it's not basketball, they believed in analytics when they went up to Boston and took all their home run hitters out of the lineup because the analytics said so.
That's against your argument,
No, I'm just saying, but you asking me who some people are into the analytics no matter what. That was my point.
Right, but that seems to be the group you're defending. You seem to be saying this is evidence that all the guys that go strictly by analytics, this is evidence that they're right. I don't know anybody that would say analytics aren't part of the equation. And for the record, Jokic, one of the main analytical numbers, is PER, player efficiency rating. Jokic 31.5, Embiid 31.4 this year. So, there's that big of a difference between that and Embiid flamed out the playoffs.
Rob G, what was the other number you gave me before? Not today. Like, wasn't there some other?
There's plenty of analytical numbers, but one that a lot of people go by is PER.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying is it was almost identical. And yet one guy was phenomenal in the playoffs and another flamed out in the second round.
Yeah. My point is that those analytical people have to feel better, is what I'm saying. If Jokic flamed out with all that and he was trying to win a third straight, then you would go, but it doesn't translate into anything. That's all I'm saying. Whether I'm into analytics or not, if I'm in an analytical front office or a part of that, I'm just saying I have to feel better to see that one guy who's really good in analytics went out and won. That's all I'm saying. Well,
first of all, it's not the first time that's happened. Giannis is an analytic king too.
Yeah, but not with the records that this guy broke and the stuff that he did. Giannis didn't do any of that.
Giannis was phenomenal in the finals.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
50 points. Remember how great he was? And I'm not bashing the analytics. I'm just saying I don't understand your point.
Jokic,
because
you're not listening. You're not
listening. I am listening.
Okay, let me. Jokic,
but let me finish. I've been listening to you. I can also sit here and say that Joel Embiid was excellent analytically too, and he flamed out not only as a team, individually in the second round of the playoffs.
Okay, I think when people look at him, they think of Jokic more as an analytics darling, that those people, not Joel Embiid, Chris, no matter what the numbers are. Joker had a higher win shares, PER, and box plus
PER
minus.
by a tenth of a point.
Okay, whatever, but he had a higher one in all of those. And I think if you were to ask anybody who's the analytical darling to most of the stat geeks in basketball, it wouldn't be Embiid that they talk about. They would talk about Jokic. And that's all I'm saying is that those people could feel better about that they have a place in the NBA, that what they're talking about works. I'm talking about those people. Not you have to buy into it.
You don't have to be an analytics head to see that Jokic is great. He averaged almost a triple-double. Those are traditional stats. 63% from from traditional stats.
And he got 15 votes for the Hall of Fame. And he got 15 votes for MVP. I've been listening to you. 63% shooting from the field. Traditional stat. 38% from three. Traditional stat. 82% from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, or almost 10 assists, 9.8, and 24 points. I don't have to just look at his analytical numbers to see that he had a great year. And he got trounced in the MVP vote despite those numbers that you're just talking about.
Giannis had a great year too.
Giannis wasn't in the competition
you're trying to bash voters.
No, I'm not.
That's all you're trying to do.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying to you that there are people who are fans out there who aren't into the analytics. And now I'm telling you, these people will be more bold about the analytics.
They already bold.
He's the poster child for analytics. All right. He's the